Good morning. I would like to thank the team at RIAT and the community who have organized this incredible event, and all of you who have joined us this weekend. It is an honor to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me the opportunity and privilege to share our stories, our experiences, and our hopes for the future. My name is Jake Glaser. I am HIV positive, and I am 32 years old. I am strong, I am proud, I am courageous, I am radical, I am disruptive, and most of all, I am just like all of you. Even though we live in different parts of the world, we are connected. Connected as human beings, connected as a generation, and connected by our drive to end HIV and AIDS in our lifetime. I know how hard it can be to live HIV positive, to lose those that we love, and to accept that HIV is a part of who we are. I also know that living with HIV makes us grow, educate, and inspire others to live a life of true value as leaders of our generation and all of those that follow. I know this because I live it every single day. I am sure some of you are thinking, who is this guy? Why is he here? And how does he know what I confront every day in my life? And you have every right to feel that way. However, again, you and I are more similar than different. My journey with HIV started 4 years before I was born. My mother, Elizabeth Glaser, gave birth to my older sister, Ariel, in 1981. During birth, she lost a lot of blood, and she needed a blood transfusion. This was in 1981, 36 years ago, a time when tests for HIV did not exist. From that transfusion, she contracted HIV, and there was nothing that we could have done because no one knew. 3 years later, in 1984, this handsome man that you're looking at right now was born. It wasn't soon after my birth that my sister Ariel started to show signs of illness. It was almost as if she would get sick one week, only to get better the next, and then to get sick the following week after that. This was in 1984. At this point, we had more knowledge about HIV, but still not enough. A doctor decided to run a test, and it came back positive. They told us that my sister was HIV positive, and so was my mother, and so was I. My father, Paul, did not contract the virus. At a time when little was known about HIV, the world's first reaction was that out of fear, an emotional reaction to something that we did not understand. It made society label this virus in unfair ways, which led to stigma. While nothing was being done to address stigma around HIV, my mother chose to do something. Her life, as well as mine, my sister's, and the rest of the world facing HIV relied on the world learning more about HIV. In 1987, my sister became ill once again, and this time she did not recover. Ariel passed away at the age of 7. My mom fought to save my life. She started the Pediatric AIDS Foundation to save the lives of all children around the world infected with HIV. The foundation devoted every dollar we raised to research. It was through the collaborative work between our foundation and research partners that helped develop the first antiretroviral medication for adults and children. It was a starting point, but not nearly enough. This had to become a global fight. It was a human fight. It was a human right to live. In 1992, when she spoke at the Democratic National Convention during President Clinton's administration, she made her mark on the world. She made HIV a human issue. 2 years after her speech, she became ill herself, and she soon passed away. I was 10 years old. My father, along with those that were inspired by my mother and understood her mission, continued her work. Through the foundation, we continued to push, and it grew into what we know today as the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. Her courage to stand for what she knew to be true and what she knew to be right, her strength to go against the grain, and her love for humanity taught us a lesson that we can once again apply today. She showed us how we can change the world. She showed us how we can work together, and she showed us that we can do the same now for the future. We can do it in ways that my mother could have never imagined, in ways that will end HIV once and for all. It will take working together. It will take innovation, and we will have to think out of the box. We will have to rewrite the story of what HIV means to our generation. The stigma that we see today is only here because it was given to us. No one asked if we wanted it or how we felt about it. It was simply placed on us. As a kid, I remember how much stigma affected me. People would not want to be near my family. I was not allowed in schools, and people judged me for something that I could not control. I remember looking at my medication and thinking to myself, every time I see those pills, it reminds me of my HIV. Every time I see those pills, it makes me feel different than those around me. And every time I see those pills, it reminds me of what took my mother and sister. And that made me angry. Because of that anger, I made bad decisions. I ignored my status. I flushed my pills down the toilet, and I never spoke of HIV to anyone. I resented it with all of my being. I allowed stigma to control me. I allowed HIV to define me. I know how hard it can be to live with HIV. Every day I remind myself that I did not ask for this stigma. It was placed on me. While stigma controlled me as a kid, today I have let it go. Now I look at my pills and they are just pills. I look at people around me who are HIV negative and they take pills too. My dad takes pills for high cholesterol. My friends take vitamin pills to stay healthy and strong, just as I take pills to do the same for my life. Taking pills today is not a rare thing. Over half the world's population takes medication for something. So why should I feel different for taking mine? This is the reality of the world we live in. We need to help others let go of the past. We need to invite others to join us as we move into the future. The world remembers HIV as it was 30 years ago. We knew nothing about it then. We were afraid of it. It seemed to be a death sentence. The world of HIV has now changed, but the public perception of it has not. And it is up to us and our generation to change that. I would like to tell you a story. It happened to me exactly 4 years ago. It showed me how we can end stigma and end HIV and AIDS in our lifetime. This was my opportunity to become a leader and a teacher within my community, just like you can be for yours. 4 years ago, I met my beautiful girlfriend. From the moment I saw her, I knew she was the one. It was not long after we met that we started dating. She chose to tell her parents about our relationship and about my status of being HIV positive. Their response was strong. They did not want her to date me because of my HIV status. At first, I was scared. I was uncertain and confused. Why did they react the way that they did? I knew having HIV was not a death sentence. The medications we have today are absolutely incredible. If we get the treatment that we need, we can remain at a viral load that is undetectable. But all they could focus on were the memories of the past, 30 years ago, when people were dying from HIV. At first, I did not understand why they struggled to support our relationship, so I sat them down and educated them. I connected them with my doctor so they could hear it for themselves from a professional. Together, we became more aware. Together, we understood that our relationship could be just like everyone else. Because of the medication that I take every day, never missing a dose, I will stay healthy, and their daughter will be too. Because of the medication I take, I will not die from HIV. I will live a long, strong, and incredible life. Because of the medication I take, I am healthy, and because of that, their daughter will be too. My girlfriend and I have been together for 4 years, and we love each other very much. And so do her parents. They now tell me they love me every day. I want all of you to understand that you can do the same for your friends, your family, and your current and future relationships, because this is the world that we live in. It is beautiful, it is full of opportunity, and the future belongs to you and your generation. It is your turn to tell a new story, one that will create a new memory of HIV for everyone in the world to use as a springboard into the future. So I will ask you to do me one favor as you continue through this weekend's conference and into the rest of your lives. I want you to think about this idea. What if we could hit a button and erase everyone's ideas, fears, and past memories of HIV? What if we could erase stigma entirely and have a clean slate to educate the world about what it means to live with HIV and how we can end this epidemic in our lifetime? What if we could tell our stories and give the world a memory of HIV that is that of survival, longevity, and an abundance of life? Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, we can do this. As we move forward, it is our responsibility to rewrite the history books of what HIV means to us. My name is Jake Glaser. I am HIV positive, and I have a beautiful girlfriend who loves me. We will have a family of our own, and HIV will not control it. I am HIV positive, and I am a leader in my community because of the choices that I make, the life that I live, and the example that I set. I am HIV positive, and because I care for myself and those around me, I live free. Thank you.